You see, Madam Christie, the error most committed by those who study my craft is the assumption that I wrote my works, that I composed them from thought, from intention, from the ordinary mechanics of a waking mind.
And yet the manuscripts exist, Mr. Poe, the corrections, the cross-outs, the ink stains, rather pedestrian evidence of human authorship, I'm afraid.
Evidence. You would cite evidence at the edge of oblivion. Between each star, Madame, between each cold and burning point of light, there exists a silence that is not merely absence of sound, but a presence, a language. And it was from that language that The Raven was translated, that Ulalume was transcribed.
Mr. Poe, what you are describing is a hallucination, a rather poetic one, I grant you, but a hallucination nonetheless, the subconscious reconstructing its own noise as cosmic revelation.
And what if the subconscious is merely the antenna?
Let us speak about mystery, since that is ostensibly the territory we share. The perfect crime, your premise, I believe, is that it is a feeling, a texture of dread.
The perfect crime is never solved because it does not announce itself as a crime at all. It seeps. It enters through the keyhole of the imagination and colonizes the bedchamber of reason. It is dread wearing the costume of coincidence. Usher's house did not fall. It exhaled.
Absolutely not. The perfect crime is a mathematical proof. Given motive, given opportunity, given the precise calibration of timing and means. A flawless alibi is not an act of genius. It is an equation balanced on both sides. Dread, Mr. Poe, is merely what the unsuccessful detective feels.
And what does the successful one feel?
Satisfaction, the very specific satisfaction of a completed puzzle. Hercule Poirot does not shudder at shadows, Mr. Poe. He measures them.
Tell me, Madame, does Poirot sleep soundly?
Reliably, yes.
Then he has never truly looked into the abyss. The shadow cast by a man who has committed the perfect crime does not fall on the wall, Madam Christie. It falls inward, into the architecture of his own mind. The telltale heart does not beat beneath the floorboards. It beats inside the detective.
That is very nearly convincing. I shall file it under romantically dangerous nonsense.
You may file it wherever you like. The code remains the same.
That, Mr. Poe, brings me to a matter I have been investigating for some considerable time. You used the word code. I do not believe you used it carelessly.
I rarely use any word carelessly.
The Gold Bug, published 1843, a cryptographic adventure, seemingly a puzzle for the amusement of literate Americans. I first noted the anomaly some months ago. Within the cipher decoded by your protagonist, Legrand, there is a second-order pattern, not in the message itself, but in the distribution of errors, the deliberately placed misreadings, the substitutions that should not work, and yet do.
Go on.
When those coordinates are plotted with full mathematical precision, Mr. Poe, they do not locate a buried treasure on Sullivan's Island. They describe an astronomical bearing, a fixed point in space. I had the figures cross-referenced against 3 independent star atlases. The bearing is consistent, unambiguous, and entirely beyond the cartographical knowledge available to you in 1843.
I told you, it was not written, it was received.
I said no such thing. What I am saying is that the pattern exists, that it points somewhere, and that it warrants investigation of the most rigorous kind.
Then we are agreed on something, Madam Christie, for the first time.
Do not grow sentimental about it.
The Manual of Cryptography, a text whose authorship is disputed, but whose methods are not.
You brought this deliberately.
Everything I do is deliberate, even the hallucinations. The ciphers contained within this episode, scattered through its dialogue, its pauses, its very silences, form a pattern. The method to decode them lies within this manual and within the substitution tables of the gold bug. The key is the phrase you have already heard spoken in this room. You need only listen again.
Begin with the anomalous letters. Count every instance of the word shadow and its conjugates throughout this episode. Note the numerical value of each occurrence using Poe's cipher alphabet from the gold bug. The rest, I trust, is elementary.
Though nothing about it is simple,
I trust this is not amontillado under false pretenses.
the cask is entirely intact, madam. The cellar walls remain uninhabited, for this evening at least. To the language between stars.
To the equation that explains them.
The mystery remains open, dear listener, as it always must, for the very moment you believe you have reached the final chamber of the labyrinth.
You discover that the walls are mirrors,